On this 22nd Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year A, 2020, the Lord has placed the choice before you. He has placed the choice before me. The choice either to make heaven or the choice to make hell. The choice to make heaven or the choice to make hell is yours to make, not God's. You have the freedom. You are a free child of God. And you say to me, how do I make heaven? How do I make hell? Well, God has given you a human body. What do you use that body for? Now, look at the first reading of today. Jeremiah was complaining, "Oh God, the job you have given to me is difficult. The job you have given to me makes me an enemy to many people because I tell them what they don't want to hear. I tell them about their sins, about their evil ways. I ask them to repent. Now, people hate me. People don't like me." Complaints about our jobs. Complaints about doing what is right. Now you have a choice to complain the way Jeremiah complains, or you can take an alternative route, an alternative road, which is the road of Christ. Christ says, if you want to be a Christian, if you want to be my follower, carry up your cross every day. Now it is true that Jesus Christ was given pieces of wood nailed together for him to carry as a cross. That is not the cross that Jesus Christ is asking you and I to carry. It is that cross of Jeremiah. That God has given you a responsibility. That God has given you a body. How are you using that body? This body that God has given to you is your fundamental cross. But when we call it a cross, it looks very negative. Because Christ carried the cross, he bled and suffered and was nailed to the cross. But that is not the idea of the liturgy of today. The idea is this, that God has given you some gifts, just as he called Jeremiah and made him a prophet. That God has given you gifts and he wants you to use those gifts for the greater glory of his name. How are you using your body? How are you using your gifts? Your cross, my cross, is this body that God has given to us. How do you use the intelligence God has given to you? To lead people to God or to lead people away from God? To exploit the people or to serve the people? To invent something positive to help humanity or something negative to destroy humanity? The beauty that God has given to you, do you use that beauty to bring people to God or to lead people away from God? The eloquence God has given to you, do you use that to preach God, preach unity, preach love, or division? You see, you have a choice. A free gift has been given to you. This body has been given to you. So it's not a cross, but a vehicle, a means of transportation to lead you to God. Why? Because everything you do in the body is being encoded, is being recorded for you or against you. Whatever you do in this body, when you make it a positive act, it becomes to your credit. It leads you to God. If you make it negative, it leads you away from God. The choice of how you use the body, how you carry your cross, which is this body and all the gifts that God has given to you through this body, they become means of transportation to lead you to God or away from God, depending on what you do, how you use the body God has given to you. Now, do not take that as my own opinion. Look at what Paul says in the second reading. Brothers and sisters, offer your bodies to God as a living sacrifice. That is the point. This is the sacrifice that has to be offered to God for you to attain God. Your body is a cross, but not negative, but it is a means of leading you to God. It is what you do in the body that will lead you eventually to God. So Jeremiah, called as a prophet, was doing his best to serve God. He made enemies through that, but that is not the point. The point is fidelity to the job that has been given to him. You and I, how are we using this body? The gifts we have received. Are we using our gifts and using this body as a living sacrifice? In other words, we have offered everything we have to God so that will lead us to God. If you do that, if I do that, then we have chosen God. We have chosen to go back to God. We have chosen to make the body a vehicle to lead us to God. Then there's no room for complaints, but room to glorify God and offer this body as a sacrifice to Him.